So today I'm going to show you how to detail vehicles. So this isn't like a full complete detailing video. This is like basic detail. This is what you do if you're an average Joe like me. So come closer real quick. I want to show you the kind of things I have. So first thing is you're going to need 2 buckets. The 2-bucket system ensures that when you're cleaning the car that you dip sponge into this bucket, and then when it's dirty, the dirt falls through and it stays in this bucket, and then this bucket will be where the clean soapy water is. So you dip into the soapy water, wash the car, and then you dip back into the clean water bucket, and then it just kind of cleans the sponge. And then eventually this will become pretty disgusting water, but you're basically just using 1 bucket to clean the sponge as you go. So that's the 2-bucket system. Then over here I have a crate full of a bunch of goodies. Let me just kind of break it down real quick. So first thing that you need is towels. So I have 3 different colored towels. So the lightest colored towels you'll use to clean the interior of the vehicle. That's pretty important. The darker towels can be for like the exterior. And you can use towels to dry the vehicle, but it's probably recommended that you don't, but instead get something like this. This is like a special towel. It's basically kind of hard when it's dry, but it absorbs this special towel will absorb all of the liquid from the car once you're done washing the car, right? Because you want something to pick up the droplets, because if you don't, if you look over here, you'll see these little droplets right here. Over time, the little droplets will start to burn into the clear coat, and that's going to be really annoying because then it's actually harder to wash. You'll hear a sound when you'll be scrubbing. You'll hear like a sandy sound, like shh, 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 during the scrub. And you're going to need a special tool for cleaning the actual rims. So this is like a rim cleaning tool. I don't know what you call it, but I'll have all the names in the description below, and there'll be some text and stuff that'll flow. But with this, you'll basically dip it into the soapy bucket, and then you'll use it to clean the rims. What's nice about it is that it's kind of long like a stick, so you can kind of get in there and you can scrub around. So you can kind of doing something like this, and it lets you get into all the little nooks and crannies. But for all the areas that you can't reach because the areas are too small or too detailed, you have something like these detail brushes. So with these detail brushes, what you can do, you go in and you actually can detail the really fine areas like these little spots right here. They're extremely hard to get to, but you can detail them with the brushes. Most of the stuff that I bought, I got it from like AutoZone or O'Reilly's, and most of it's pretty low quality. Like you can take a look at this brush here, like this thing, I don't know, it's kind of a piece of crap. Pro Elite tools. What I learned from all the stuff that I bought is just find a good retailer online that actually specializes in these types of tools, and that's the kind of tools you want to get. They make so many different tools that, like, I mean, they don't really specialize in any particular tools. Yeah. They're so cheap that it was literally falling apart right when I got it. Yeah. I wasn't super happy about that.
If it's a small company instead, you have a higher chance of influencing them to make a better product because you give them your honest opinion, and they actually take that opinion and make their brushes and their stuff better. So
yeah, when it comes to like the types of tools you have, I recommend getting more higher quality tools. But because when I bought this Corvette, it was already broken in. Like the Corvette already had a bunch of scratches. People had already taken it through car washes. It's had all kinds of chips and stuff. So the kind of tools I use for this detail don't really matter a whole lot. This is Meguiar's. Like this is just the basic stuff that you can get at like AutoZone. What I'll do is I'll just kind of open it up and just kind of launch it in there like this. About that much.
That much is how much it needs?
That's about how much you need, yeah. Then we have a wheel tire cleaner. This is what you'll spray. We'll clean the rims at the end. It might actually be better to clean them in the beginning, but we'll clean them at the end. And then I got a rich leather cleaner. So the thing about the leather cleaner is it has protection for UV. So like with this convertible, the sun will eventually start to destroy the seats, and this will kind of protect it a little bit.
All the products.
I have also another Meguiar's interior detail cleaner. So this is just like the cheaper version that they sell. It's not really specific for leather. It's just kind of like a multi-purpose cleaner for the vehicle. Then this right here, this is for doing wheel shine. All right, right here. Meguiar's Hot Shine Tire Coating. So this thing we're gonna spray once we've already cleaned everything. At the very last step I'm just gonna spray this on the rubber, and then we'll use this tool to just kind of clean like that. It's mostly for making it kind of like a deep dark shine.
More towels.
These are just dirty towels, and then this is a sponge that I got it at AutoZone. It totally sucks. After a couple months, it completely fell apart. Like inside, it has like a bunch of foam and stuff. It's just, all this foam is destroyed. So eventually I was forced to get another sponge, and I decided to use one of these sponges. This is just a slightly higher quality sponge. It has this soft material on the front, which is good for basically not scratching the car. But because my car is so scratched up, this doesn't even do anything when I try to clean with it.
Yeah.
So I'm forced to just use the rougher side.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and start using that in a moment. So this right here is for removing water droplets from like the glass. I don't really use this as much anymore. It's kind of annoying. It makes loud noises. You can use it even to whisk away all the water, but I really prefer to use something like this, because this thing, it just soaks up so much water, and it's quick and easy, and it works. Choice of hose. This hose right here, this is a special hose. I figured if I'm gonna be washing the car a couple times a week or a couple times a month, like I'm gonna need pretty good tools for washing the car, right? So it has all these different settings, right? And most of the settings I'll be using will be this one here. This one here is really good for wetting the actual car, because it's like a giant strip, and it just kind of gets the whole thing wet really fast. So I just kind of wet it, and then I'll change it to this, and then do a thicker water stream. Fill that up, and then if there aren't enough bubbles, then I'll change it to the thinner, because the thinner stream will give you tons of bubbles. And then this will just fill up with just regular water, because again, we're just going to use this to clean our sponge every time we wash the car, basically. This water hose head in particular is nice because you can control the power of the stream. Like, I mean, I think that's pretty awesome. So like, you know, you want it to go further, you want less water. I mean, it's whatever you want, which is really nice. The thing about washing cars is that as soon as you spray the water down onto it, you want to start scrubbing almost immediately. And one of the problems with that is, like, if it's hot outside, the water's going to dry off. So you don't want to scrub too much. So let me show you something. You want to start at the very top of cleaning the car first, and you wash in sections, right? So you wash one section here, and it's based on like how big the panel is, and that's how you can remember.
Hey honey, who taught you to start from the top and go to the bottom?
I think that was probably maybe you, I don't know. Maybe the internet, hard to say.
No, it was me.
And then you just kind of do it in circular motions. Take a look at this. So you do circular motions. And regarding the soft tops, I don't push down super hard. It's basically cloth, so you don't want to push super hard because it could maybe even damage it. And then for like the glass parts, if the glass isn't super dirty, I'll just use the soft side a little bit. But this glass is pretty dirty, so I'm just gonna stick to doing it like that.
You're using the other side?
Yeah. Might as well wash the glass too, over here. Pop it in that bucket, kind of let it clean a little bit. Wet it some more. It's drying off. And you want to use both hands because you might need actually a lot of pressure in certain areas that might need more scrubbing. But really, I just like both hands because good control. Do this side. Now the bottom of the car is the most dirtiest. So by the time you reach the very bottom of the car, you don't want to be cleaning higher up because you would bring in dirt from the very bottom to the top. So starting from the top and then moving all the way down is your best bet. So it's already taking me a little bit too long to clean this section because by the time I'm done over here, that other side is going to get pretty much dry. But
Hence, you need 4 hands.
I
not
think
2.
it's yeah, I think it's pretty much good enough. I want to spray it down now. You can kind of push it one direction. You see how I'm pushing it away like that? That kind of ensures that you're not going over the same spot too many times. And I wish I didn't have to go to the other side, but you kind of do have to walk around to the other side. Yeah, notice I'm pretty much running around too, because if you don't move quickly, like washing the car is going to take longer than 30 minutes. And I don't want that. I want to be able to come in, wash it, get it done, especially with these black cars because they get so darn dirty.
What side of the sponge are you using now for the rest of the car?
I'm just going to use the harder side. If this was like a brand new car with a brand new clear coat, and it didn't have any scratches, I would use pretty much only the soft side. But like I said, because it's broken in, it makes a lot of sense to not even waste your time with the soft
Not to
side.
mention
because I tried it and it's too soft maybe.
We also rent it out, so let's keep that in mind.
Yeah, so this particular vehicle is being rented on Turo, and it's a great way to offset the cost of ownership and actually make some money on the side.
Especially so, like, right now in these trying times.
Yeah, so this specific vehicle, so I got it I financed it, and I think it's like 4% APR, and...
Good APR.
Yeah. I mean, I obviously didn't buy this with cash, but yeah, it's generating about double what it's worth in terms of revenues. So yeah, so like the loan for the vehicle is like $664. The insurance is about $75 for comprehensive insurance. That's because I have pretty good driving record, no accidents, and like only like a few tickets, like 10 years ago almost. It's been a while.
If only your fiance could say that about her driving history. No. Sorry guys, it's the opposite in this relationship. He's the safe one. I'm the wild child.
Yeah,
just kidding. We're both pretty safe, but
yeah. And then let's see, the depreciation for the vehicle with the rental that I'm doing, it depreciates by about $200 per ride. So realistically, I'm only making roughly about anywhere from $600 to $400 by renting it out 4 times a month, which isn't bad.
Always good to have some cash flow.
Yeah, I always thought, well, if I'm going to have a vehicle like this, I might as well try to find a way to how to make money off of it, you know, and not just own it.
Okay.
For sections that have you started?
Yeah.
Just go. For sections that have really small crevices, like this little spot right here, take a look at that real quick. These little spots right here, using this side won't really get everything. So you want to use the little fluffy side. It'll clean it at least a little bit. Not the greatest, but at least a little bit, because those are just really hard to reach areas. And then I'll still obviously use the other side, but I just want to make sure I get it all.
Do you want to talk about the glass cleaner?
Sure. Glass cleaners is a final finishing touch that you add to the car. Just like when you're doing the rims, it's one of the last steps basically. Because you still want to wash the glass normally with a sponge, and then you'll use the glass cleaner to really finalize it. It'll make sure that it's streak free.
Okay.
Okay, so usually when you get done washing the car for the first time, you're gonna find spots that you missed. The big spot that people miss is the wheel well. So if you get a little closer, you'll see these little areas right here. They still actually have, they're still panel basically. So you wanna kind of clean a little bit within the wheel well. Keep in mind it's extremely dirty, extremely dirty. It's almost as dirty as near the bottom spots right here. So you don't wanna bring it up. So just kind of go back and wash it in this little water bucket and then continue on, because it's just so hard to clean it without contaminating all the other spots. Yeah, that's it. Just gonna get this spot over with real quick. I'm doing like an up and down vibrating motion. So first I go like this, then I go like that, and then I do like a circular motion.
Get that, baby. Get it, get it, get it, get it, get it.
Some of the areas that are hard to clean are the areas right in between the panel. That's where I'll take one of the rags that we have, and I might even just kind of, it doesn't even have to be wet or dirty or dry or anything. You just take the rag, you put it between the panels, you're kind of like brushing it, kind of like you're brushing your teeth, just kind of like that. It also really helps if you have two people helping you clean the car. One person can wash, the other person sprays down with the hose.
Okay.
Good. Right. Remember, straight down or that way.
Okay.
Recording?
Yes.
Alright. Okay. So what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to film from my perspective, like I'm looking down. Okay. So let me show you real quick how to utilize the buckets, right? So you pick the panel you want to clean. You see what I'm pointing at? Show them what I'm pointing at. So this is the panel I'm going to clean. See how it's dirty? I'm just only cleaning this section. I'm compartmentalizing it. And then I'm going to go in here. This is the ultra clean soapy bucket, right? I'm going to go in here and I'm going to clean this surface. And when I'm done, I'm putting it directly back into that bucket. So take a quick look at how I'm doing it. Pay attention to how I'm scrubbing. Circular motions, right? And it really depends on how dirty it is. If you clean your car once a week, you can kind of go over it really fast. You can kind of pretty much almost just do this, right? You just kind of do that. Some people even have a dedicated hose that they just spray. It's like a pressure wash that they use. But the problem is, on a car that's broken in already, a pressure wash could damage the paint because the paint's already pretty freaking old. All right. And then doing the wheel well again, just a little bit. And then for things like the Emblem, right? You want to use this side because it's going to get all the little crevices. And actually, I'm going to show you how to replace this Emblem too. I recently got it slightly damaged. I believe it's normal wear and tear possibly, but who knows. All right. And so yeah, start at the top, move down. Again, real quick, the gills. And then as I'm coming down this section, I clip the very edge of it. I don't clean this bottom section here because it is ultra dirty. If I touch it with the sponge, then there'll be so much dirt on here. Then if I touch the clear coat, it'll scratch it immediately. So what I do is as I'm coming down towards the bottom, I only kind of lightly touch the edge. Nobody will ever see anything under there anyway, and it gets so freaking dirty. And so once I've touched the edge, I take note this is the side that touched, and then I don't touch anything further until I go back to clean, or into the dirty bucket where I'm gonna kind of just clean this sponge. And there we go. And now I've cleaned it, and now I kind of squeeze it like this, get all that dirty water off, and back to just a pure soap bucket. And that's how you do it. And then we just kind of spray it down.
Okay.
Yeah. And you don't want to do it like this. You want to angle it like that. See?
Yeah.
Take a look from my angle, from this side. Like that. Angle it. The less times you have to go back over it, again, the better. So you want to do a good job the first time. And I get really close in between the panels. I actually get like close like that. And there we go, that's that side. Now we're on to the last side. That's the front of the car, right over here. So this part of the car is actually the hardest part to get cleaned because of all the rock chips. People will buy cars thinking, oh, the car, yeah, it's a little dirty, but actually that's not dirt, that's rock chips. This whole area, once I clean it, it's only gonna look slightly cleaner.
Dang, that sucks.
All right, cut. All right, remember, not like this, like this, at an angle. You just kind of lean it all down. Remember, you want as little wasted motion as possible. And there will be little soap in these little areas like that. So you actually want to get real close, like that. It'll remove all the dirt that's getting stuck in there. And then for the final thing, I'm just gonna spray it all. I'm gonna get it all wet. And then I'm gonna use this rag to dry it all off. All right, it's been all sprayed. Now the rims, should probably hold off on the rims. The nice thing about these chrome rims is that even when they get dirty, they still look pretty good. I'll probably wash them later. Yeah, I'll do them later. All right, so get your hands clean. And then this thing is gonna be a little too hard, so we're just gonna wet it. Gonna wet it real quick, and then I'm just gonna squeeze it and then start drying. Oh no, this side didn't get washed as good. What the heck? It's kind of dirty. What the heck? That's weird. Must be the direct sunlight. Yeah, sometimes you'll notice, like, look at this section, it kind of looks a little dirty. I don't know how that happened. I must not have been pushing down as hard as I needed to be. See that? You can see the streaks. It didn't get washed. It might have been maybe the fact that it was just a little too dirty. That's fine though. I'm not going to worry about it. All right. All right. So I'm just going to take this rag. Just going to twist it. And then we'll start at the top. Like this. That'll get all the droplets. There will still be possibly some little droplets that remain, and that's probably okay. quick. Some people even have a technique where they go like this. They drop it down and then they drag like that. I'm not particularly good at it, and it seems like it's kind of a waste of time since this isn't like a show car, right? I'm not like taking it to show it off somewhere. If I was, I'd probably adopt more, strict technique on how to do that.
You might eventually do
but
that.
I do, for the most part, care about the droplets, so I'll just get them all real quick. Right now it's getting a little too wet, so just gonna twist it.
Do you wring it out every time it starts to get too wet?
Once it seems like it's not really drying, that's when I start doing it.
Okay.
And I just keep going in circles basically from the top, and then I'm just doing it in strips, like in strips and circles, and then I go all the way down, and then by the time because again, the bottom is the most dirtiest, so I don't want to bring it to the top. So I start at the top and then make my way to the bottom. The problem with drying it with a rag like this is if this rag gets dirty, or if I did a bad job washing the car, then I might be potentially scratching it. But like I've said, I'm not super worried about it. You see these little spots right here? Let me show you how to deal in between the panels. I'll take my darker rag, and I'll just kind of stick my finger in between it like this. So you see that? I'm just gonna go like that. Sometimes I can't get it all, and I'll just use my pinky. Sometimes opening up the area with just like popping the trunk, it'll open up and then I can kind of go in and do it from there. That's pretty much how you deal with that. Just kind of go around the panel. I actually never cleaned those sides. That's a buildup of probably years of whoever had this car never really cleaned in between the panels, and so it's like soap scum and dirt and a bunch of other things that kind of built up over the years. Yeah, not working. I think this particular towel also it's not as thick, it doesn't absorb as much water, so I can't really do this technique very well. Plus this thing it's
Already wet.
pure soap now.
Dang. Look at all
It
that
actually
water.
can soak up a lot of water, yeah.
Then back to dry.
To be drying within the panel. Oh look, some soapy areas that we missed. This is why when you're spraying it with the hose, you want to actually get close eventually. Near the end, you get close and then you clean up.
Let me use the hose.
No, that's not a big deal. At this point, it'll add extra drying time, which will just slow everything down. So it's totally fine. Actually, I might be able to actually somewhat. Oh yeah, it's actually cleaning it off. The dirty door. It's actually able to pick it up. I will be, in theory, smearing it everywhere with how I'm drying it, but I'm not super worried about it.
Like he said earlier, this is his rental car. So, that's right, guys. You can, whenever you're in Oregon, near Portland, or coming through PDX and you need a car, please feel free to rent from Turo this beautiful Corvette. It can be yours for $125 a day, depending on weekends and holidays. That price may change.
Sometimes it can go up to like $200 a day.
Yeah.
That's why the squeegee works so good, because it actually gets all the water and you don't have to keep squeezing it. Let me show you how the squeegee works. Yeah, it makes that sound. That's the other thing I'm not a big fan of. So you align it, you just go. You have to kind of move quickly. And because, see, it's dry. But because the irregular surfaces, you kind of have to go over it a few times. So it's not a foolproof system, and it kind of splashes, it goes everywhere, which is why I think getting some kind of pressurized air gun to spray it with soap and then wash it and then to dry it. Some kind of pressurized air gun would be really good. Yeah, see, maybe I was supposed to go like this. Whisk it away that way. And then you got areas like this where it doesn't really get it, which is why I don't really like it that much. But yeah, look at how dirty this still looks. That's not dirt, that's literally just rock chips. And that's what happens when the car's broken in real good. Whoever had it definitely blew the hell out of it. Or lived in an area with lots of boulders and rocks and stuff. Okay, I think I'm gonna go back to using the other thing. The rag, yeah. I still like the rag more. It's just a little bit more foolproof. You can actually get all the areas as opposed to just yeah, see this right here? The streaks. Had I dried it faster, this wouldn't have happened. The nice thing about it though is some of those streaks can be removed, but those streaks will burn in if you leave them there. And that's the part that sucks about it, is that eventually it all builds up and then eventually you can't even clean it until it gets professionally detailed, which really sucks. But at least it's a basic clean enough to not be ashamed of it. It is clean. One thing I'm not a big fan of with GM is their paint jobs. So much paint chipping. Both of the Corvettes I owned had paint chipping problems. We've got about 5 or 10 of those spots. With the glass cleaner, I'm going to use the white rag, right? You want to remember which rags to use because you don't want a dirty rag you've previously used on glass. That's going to look dirty. All right. So it's possible that you could just use a clean rag without a spray, and you could just kind of do circular motions, and that does kind of work. But even this glass has tiny little imperfections and sparkles. And actually a good deal of the dirt is on the inside as well. I'm not super big on glass cleaners, but I do use it every now and then. Let me show you how it works. So, spray a little bit. You can spray it like this, but then it'll splash. Let me show you what happens when you spray it like this. See how kind of splashes, kind of goes everywhere? That's why I just kind of shoot it on that. And then circular motions like this. And you want to move quickly because if you don't, then it might actually dry off and it actually could leave streaks. Yeah, I think it's actually leave streaking. Oh man, do not breathe that stuff in. Toxic stuff.
Breathed it in, oh well.
It's possible maybe I sprayed too much. If you spray too much, then it actually will start to leave streaks. But I also have water droplets that got burnt into this glass and tons of rock chips, which is why you have all those little dots.
Those little imperfections.
Yeah. It still will help because once it rains, with a glass cleaner, it kind of sets it up to just kind of whisk the water away itself. The droplets will just hit it and they'll just roll right off.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so clean with a little bit of streaks.
But yeah, look, that's about how much it took off. Not a crazy amount, but enough to kind of care about it. Start from the top. Start going towards the bottom.
It's not like that song where you started from the bottom, now you're here. It's you start from the top, then you go down.
There it goes. And then once you've cleaned it once, then you can go on a clean side of the rag and just go through it one more time. That also can help quite a bit.
Beautiful.
All right, and then I'll do the other side. Yeah, you can kind of tell the difference. Like, so if you stand right here where I'm pointing and look through there, you see how it's dirty? See how it's kind of dirty right here? And it's pretty clean over there. Feel free to zoom in as well. Yeah, it's just hard to tell. At least from the iPhone's perspective, from the viewfinder, you can't really see a whole lot, but it's there. I'm like, is that me? GM and their paint jobs. I mean, that's not normal wear and tear that a customer would do, or that would just happen randomly. The car's only like 4 years old.
Will it fix it?
It actually didn't. These are burnt in. These are the ones that need to be buffed out. I went to a detail shop. They said they would buff it. They basically didn't do anything. Really weird. I've had mixed results with this detailer.
Aw. It does.
They said they would detail the engine bay, and they definitely didn't. The engine bay was actually dirty.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So I'll have to make a video on how to detail the engine bay.
Okay.
All right, there's that. We already did this side. It still looks dirty. This glass is just, how much you can do about it. Kind of sucks. Any cars from Florida will most likely have water spots because you got sun all the time and you have rain. I think one of the other Corvettes I had was from Florida. And actually you probably want to open the door like this so you can actually do the edges too. That's actually something I forgot, is the edges, you don't want that to be dirty. And when the door is open, you can clean the inside as well, which a lot of these cleaners, they smell kind of nice. And cleaning the inside is pretty awesome.
Not that product. That one smells like chemicals.
Yeah, it doesn't smell that bad. So see, I can just flip it over to the clean side.
Yep.
And then I'm just gonna spray it on here. Oops. Dang it, did not mean to get this side. Some of these cleaners might actually be bad for the tinting film that has been applied on here. I'm not sure which ones are actually bad for that, but I assume that some of them are. So make sure you don't buy like some random brand you don't know. At least get like some average brand. That way it'll at least do a decent job. So I go around the perimeter at least a few times, and then I kind of do swirling motions on the inside. Just kind of look at that. Perfect. Now we're gonna do this glass right here. Clean that up. Thinking about removing this stupid thing. I don't know why the hell it's even there. It kind of helps. Helpful. You find it helpful? Okay, I'll leave it on there then.
I find it helpful as a short person.
Cool.
Because it lets me know that there's somebody in my blind spot.
Or dry rag. Okay. And you're probably not supposed to use the glass cleaner on the actual clear coat, but it actually makes it a little bit cleaner. Once it's already kind of dry, I just kind of like that. And I don't like to see any water droplets on my mirrors.
No water droplets for you.
Yeah, there's hairs and stuff. There's literally dust outside falling on the black cars.
Doesn't help that we have a German Shepherd either.
You just can't clean all of it. Okay. Next, we're gonna do the interior. So let me finish up by cleaning this side of the glass, and then we're gonna do the interior real quick.
Okay. Here's the video. I'm going to go check up on my thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just.
It's being left and it's recording.
It's recording right now?
Yep.
Okay.
Recording the sky.
Alrighty, got some on there. So we're just gonna do the edge. I've already cleaned this side once, but I'll just kind of go over it one more time. This glass is particularly dirty. And do the edges. I'm gonna do it on a dry spot. Put this up and dry it off, because fundamentally speaking, you're always gonna get some kind of droplets from even some sprays. The best sprays will have less droplets to form, but it's still something. There's a bunch of other small little nooks and crannies that a good detailer will get, like in here. You can see it's extremely dirty. I do those spots near the end. Once all my rags are dirty, I literally just go in there and just start scrubbing away. Like, for instance, take a look. I can just go like this. I won't be cleaning the interior of that side of the glass. It's usually pretty clean, but you just take this and just wipe these sections down. Like, see, it's dirty. You just wipe them down like this. Wide angles probably is pretty good. Okay, just kind of. All right. See that dirty spot right there? Just kidding.
Hi.
All right. I think I got this side. It's looking pretty good.
Pretty dang good.
Pretty dang good. Right here, which nobody ever cleans because nobody ever looks here. But the nice thing about detailing a vehicle is if you clean the spots nobody looks, then that's how you really get that clean feeling from the vehicle. Is when every little area has been, you know, gone over with a fine tooth comb.
Your head's in the way.
That's why you can put the camera like almost right up like where my forehead is if you really need a good angle.
Okay. Get that clean in there.
Yeah, nice and clean. Okay. That's good enough.
Choose glass cleaner for that good vet cleaning.
You normally probably don't want to use glass cleaner on the actual clear coats or any other parts of the paint, but most of it is dry, and this is basically a dry rag now that I'm using to pick up dirt, because I'm not really gonna, wet it and soap it and all that stuff. And any glass cleaner that's left on here is still kind of useful, which is why I'm doing it this way. Yep, I'm doing this little area here real quick. Literally just the little droplets of water here is perfect. It's just enough to just kind of clean this area.
The droplets help.
Yeah. And like, I'm not even going for a super clean, I'm just picking it all up. It still gives you like 90% of the good clean impression without putting in an insane amount of time into it. So normally people getting in and out, their foot hits the side of the speaker here, and then you got little chunks of sand and scuff marks and all that. For this door, I'm going to use the interior detail cleaner, and then eventually I'll transition to the rich leather cleaner for like the actual leather parts. There is a lot of leather here, but the specific area is mostly just plastic. So I'm just going to, another clean rag, just going to spray it. Oh, what do you know? It looks like I might be out.
That means we're going to have to take
We can just use the leather cleaner. It's pretty much just as good. Just kind of launch that. So there is some permanent scuffing from the previous owner that I'm not too worried about, but
experiencing issues. Hold on.
So there'll be tiny little like dirt particles in between the crevices of like the seats, and all you're doing is you're pressing down pretty hard and just kind of launching it towards the bottom of like the area where the feet well is. So I'm just kind of going like this. You see how I'm launching a little bit of the dust and all the dirt and stuff. Just kind of launching all that stuff out first. And a little hand vacuum is very helpful. When it gets really dirty, I'll get like maybe even a full-size vacuum with a hose and just kind of getting all the possible dust that might be here. And overall, the interior was already fairly clean, so I don't have to, you know, go with a toothbrush or anything and clean it. I think it's totally fine the way it is. I just mostly wipe it down, make sure I've wiped down at least each and every surface, especially for dust and stuff, and, you know, COVID related reasons and whatnot. The steering wheel, whoop. I'll definitely do that.
So glitch.
Check. I'll do the buttons. It'd be nice to get some compressed air, just shoot all this dust out. The problem with a lot of dust is it comes right back after it's been whisked away. It just comes right back.
Right back.
Alright,
Damn.
Starting to hurt. Not a bad sign. Stains. Honey, can you prepare the back?
I want to thank you guys for watching. Definitely subscribe if you like the content. I will be releasing more car related content very soon, so subscribe. And if you have any questions, I'm definitely here to help you guys out. Just leave a comment down below and I would love to chat with you guys. All right, see you in the next video. Cheers.